Okay, big picture. How good are the Niners? They're 4-1. They just beat the Rams. Does that mean the Niners are contenders? Are they Super Bowl contenders? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, you win enough games, you go to the playoffs, you get hot, funny things happen. But it's hard to say that based on this one game that the Niners look like. Anyone about this game? Huge win. But like the part of the reason it was such a huge win and so impressive is that they probably shouldn't have won in the sense that the Rams kind of gave it away. First of all, they didn't even like show up until they were down 14-0. They didn't enter the game until they were down 14-0. After that point, I thought that they essentially outplayed the Niners. They had the better quarterback. They just missed a field goal and an extra point, and they turned it over on downs to end the game, and they fumbled at the 1 yard line. So that's how you lose. If the Niners were to play the Rams again, I don't know that the Niners would win. It would probably be a very close game to go down to the end. Maybe they win. I think they're going to be in close games most of the season. And maybe that's good for them. In 2023, they just blew people out. Then they went to the Super Bowl. We're in a close game, blew it. Maybe this team will be more battle tested. Maybe the fact that they're not as good as they were 2 years ago means that they'll be more prepared for playoff football or Super Bowl football if they get there. I don't know. I'm not ruling out that this is a Super Bowl contender. It's just hard to look at this game and say this is the proof. Well, they beat the Rams. Okay. Well, yes, they beat the Rams with their backups. Very impressive. But can they keep Mac Jones healthy for 2 weeks? Because if they can't, then they're not. I don't think Brock Purdy's taking him anywhere this year. I think that toe injury is probably going to linger. I think they need Mac. Can they keep him healthy? Is Kittle coming back? Can Christian stay healthy? Can they trade for a defensive end or any defensive lineman? And you know what? They need another running back. No disrespect to Christian. He's a hell of a player, and he can split carries with the running back, and he can be a slot receiver. But Brian Robinson Jr., that's a guy whose stock is falling. He's just not good. Sorry. Bad trade, didn't work out, can't keep forcing it to him. He gives you nothing. The Niners need a running back with some juice. That is the word. And it's not the fullback. He could call himself juice, but he has no juice. Christian, hell of a player, tough, good receiver. Lacking a little bit of the juice that he had. A little bit of the juice, and he doesn't have it. So you got to play Isaac Guerrero. You got to play Jordan James. Or you got to trade for a running back. Maybe go trade for Breece Hall. He's on the Jets. He seems to be available. Robert Saleh coached him for years, and he played college football with Brock Purdy, which may not be so important anymore considering Brock Purdy just got his job taken by Mac Jones. But he's got a little bit of juice. If the Niners can get another running back that they could play on the field at the same time with Christian McCaffrey, kind of like how they used to do with Debo. They could put Debo in the backfield and Christian in the slot. Now you're talking. They have to do that. If they make those two moves, I'm open-minded on this team being a Super Bowl contender. If they commit to Mac, if Brock Purdy comes back and is a diligent backup, the way Alex Smith was for Colin Kaepernick once upon a time, if they trade for defensive linemen and another running back emerges, they could try Guerrero. They could try Jordan James. They could sign Corey Kiner off the Vikings practice squad, or they could trade for Breece Hall. I don't care. They got to get someone. They do those things. I mean, they're not going to be able to improve the offensive line. Maybe Ben Barch comes back and does something, but if they do those things and Kittle comes back, Jennings comes back, Pearsall comes back, maybe. It still comes down to Kyle Shanahan keeping his quarterback healthy. Can he do it for more than a week? I believe he can. I think he can. Believe is a strong word, but I have a feeling that's also a strong. He might be able to do it. Let's put it that way. And there's something to be said for that. Use Napkin says, what football team did you grow up rooting for? The Niners. I was a Niner fan in the 90s. Big Steve Young fan. Loved Jeff Garcia. And stopped rooting for the team in college. And then, really stopped rooting for the team when I became a reporter. But I still, the organization, the franchise means a lot to me. I know the history. I grew up rooting for this team. I know Steve Young. I want the team to mean something and to stand for something. And today they freaking did. I appreciate that. PrizePicks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, C-O-H-N, and download the app now. Niles23 says both coaches didn't want to win today. Mac was a dog today, took a beating and still won. Niners need quarterback bullpen. Different quarterback for every quarter. That's why I call him a quarterback. B. Cruisin says somewhere out there there's a Jimmy with a smile on his face. I wish we could see Jimmy play against the Niners one time. Brian Castillo says sing Alejandro for the victory. Alejandro? What's that song? I sing Fernando. I don't know about Alejandro. Ivan P says, who better, Niners or Chiefs? Well, with Mac Jones, the Niners have the better quarterback for sure. Allen says, yo, sub Grant. Brock is. Will Freeze says, I tried to tell you the season wasn't over, but you wouldn't listen. They're a playoff team already and a legit Super Bowl contender, but Brock is better when healthy. No, he's not. And he's not healthy. Hog20 says, people talking about the quarterback, they need a splash at running back. Agree with that. Andrew Peñalosa says, yo, Grant, tell your pops I love him. BT Dub, when you're healthy, you're a top 5 sports journalist. When healthy. I have been healthy in 15 years. Rob Wilson says, it's pretty simple about number 10. He just wins. Dominic George says, your live streams are always fantastic. Cheers. Thank you. Clark Kent says, more than 500 likes. Wow. It's Nick for real says, Mac 10, still yet to fail us. Should have played Sunday. Agree. Our 2 cents TV says, you got to sing the song, Grant. Backyard boogie, oogie, oogie. Mac 10 got his boogie on. I don't know that song. Sir Payne says, Mac Jones inspires people. What a warrior. He does. Autumn Jurisic says, I owe Kendrick Bourne an apology. He's not washed. Yeah, Kendrick, if you're watching, we all apologize, man. Sorry. You're not washed. And I started you on my fantasy team. I was just getting the rest of the world to sleep on you so that I could profit. I'm not above it. To all the Cohns, says Joe. Thank you very much, Joe. Sean Shepard says, what's scary with Mac is you know what's coming and he still wins. This many lambs die in 33 AD, plus Jesus lives. His new name is McDummy, 4th and 1 in OT. Really? Robert Sandoval says, Mac Jones, 3 games, 905 passing yards, 6 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Wasn't it 8 touchdowns? Am I wrong? Brock Purdy, 2 games, 586 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Yeah, it's not good. Coach Fieros, $2. Austin Rodriguez says, if we plan on making a run this year, we need to trade for pass rush. Stafford was too comfortable all day. Line was always identity of Salah's defense. All right, I'm going to get to the rest in a minute.